I want to go through your catalog,
Yeah.
which I feel is so important, especially right now.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
I'm fortunate to write every single word. So
Yeah.
if you're going to ask anybody about Public Enemy and the songs and the words, at least, I'm here to tell you without having to drink or smoke that I can deliver.
Well, the first album.
Yeah.
Yo Bumrush the Show.
Right. And you know that album, Yo Bumrush the Show, Yo MTV Raps is named off of that album.
Oh, the Yo.
Think about it.
Oh.
Yeah. The first show of Yo MTV Raps was in London. Public Enemy was a sensation in 1987. Brought that next generation of hip hop across the world, and we were the first really international powerhouse to look at ourselves finding a base elsewhere than the US of A. So London is our first base, not the United States. London is Public Enemy's base. Brixton, Hackney, all those spots. That's where we planted, right? The first Yo MTV Rap show was hosted by one of Fab Five Freddy's friends, Sophie Bramley from France.
Oh, it wasn't Fab Five Freddy?
No, it was Sophie, a woman named Sophie Bramley. And it was its pilots, but also the show had played in London. And they named the show after the next sensation of hip hop in '87, which was Yo MTV Raps.
Wow. Okay.
Yo,
I just learned something. I've been watching this show since pretty much the beginning, and I just learned something.
I'm here to tell you to clear the myth and also puff down the yeast, because there's a lot of yeast in hip hop. You got to go with yeast removal on a lot of things, and then some things that appear to be, like in the mirror, larger than they appear, are really small. So,
well, you guys formed the group, and you guys signed to Def Jam.
Yes, 1986.
Initially, Rick Rubin didn't want Flavor Flav in the group. He didn't get the chemistry part of it. He wanted you.
Right, because
but you insisted.
Rick Rubin wanted me in 1985. Bill Stepney was the first executive for Def Jam. Bill Stepney is a college friend of mine, and also Andre Brown, Dr. Dre. We also worked at WBAU radio in Garden City at Delphi University, which was our school. Harry Allen was also sleeping in our classes too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, Harry Allen, Bill Stepney, and Andre Brown, Dr. Dre, all in the same class.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Andre Strobel was the music teacher.
The Yo MTV Raps Dr. Dre.
Right.
Not the other Dr. Dre.
And both of those guys named themselves Dr. Dre for two different reasons. I mean, well, same reason. Dr. J, who's also from my hometown of Roosevelt.
Okay, I'm learning.
It's like Ice Cube names his name. He named himself off of George Gervin.
Huh. Okay.
He's the Iceman. Well, Ice Cube.
Okay. Well, you guys formed, and you guys are producing yourselves, the Bomb Squad.
Yes, because we produce radio shows.
The Shockley brothers.
Yes.
Am I forgetting someone?
Bill Stepney. And Hank Shockley.
Hank and Keith Shockley.
Yeah, and Keith Shockley is two different intervals, because Keith Shockley comes on later on at the tail end and Takes a Nation.
Oh, okay.
But in the Yo Bumrush the Show, it was just Hank supervising, Bill Stepney, right? Myself, Eric Vietnam Sadler, who's our music programmer.
Right.
Now, Hank has the greatest ears of all time, which is kind of crazy, because at the end of the noise, you got to have the guy that makes the mix. So the combination of Hank Shockley and a guy like Steve Ett, who's passed, I think, a decade now, probably never gets talked about. Steve Ett was the engineer of Chung King. And Steve Ett and his Neve board and Hank Shockley worked really well. Neve was a simple board that laid it out, and there was knobs. And to process all these things happening down into one track takes ears.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, you guys created sort of a new sound.
Yeah.
Because at the time, everything was very, sampling James Brown was popular back then, or taking an old,
no, before we came in, it was things that were moving, like really working the Lynn drum and the DMX. Davey DMX, who's the bass player in Public Enemy's band right now. He's the one that actually went in and produced Run's House and all the Rush sounds. And then you had Rick Rubin that came in and also went and took like the Roland 808.
Yeah.
And you know what that sound? Who invented that sound?
Who's that?
My Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre from Yo MTV's Raps.
Wow. Okay.
Because we had a 8,000 Roland machine that we played at our gigs and on a radio station. You know, Keith Shockley would tell you that because he mastered that and the bass line from Roland, right? Dre, who's 3 towns away, that we're kindred band spirits, goes out and gets the Roland 909. He gets the 909, which has a sustain on the kick. He shows Rick Rubin how it goes because he's bringing Rick Rubin tracks, which led to what? Early Run DMC stuff that Rick uses later on Together Forever. Boom, boom. That's the first time you hear it. Boom, boom, boom. Because before that, the users of the Roland were people like Arthur Baker.
Kraftwerk.
For Bambaataa, not Kraftwerk, but Arthur Baker doing Kraftwerk's song of, you know, Bambaataa's Soul Sonic Force. They're using the beginnings of the Roland, and we had that Roland too, but they used that Roland in a way to, I mean, groups that you could check out the groups, Nucleus, they all use the Roland, you know, 8,000 and stuff like that with that Roland sound. Arthur Baker. When Dre got the 909 in 1984, it began him using that sustain in live gigs. And I could be off. You would have to ask Dre and Hank for specifics. But Dre would go back to the city, show the techniques to Rick, and because Dre was hanging with Rush and Rick Rubin and the Beasties and all that. Matter of fact, that Dre is the Beastie Boys' second DJ.
Yeah, I know about that.
You know about that?
That I know, yeah.
Dre introduces
Rick Rubin was the first DJ.
Right, double R.
Right, DJ
Dre comes in next. He introduces those sounds. Rick uses those sounds for Runs Raising Hell. Dre is signed to a single deal, Original Concept, making the first bass record, which influences Miami bass, and also later on trap. And the name of the song, well, first one was a single released with the new Def Jam, distributed by CBS, Can You Feel It? Which was taking the Jackson 5 sample. Can you feel it? The next record he did, which was somewhere between Holding Now, Hit It by the Beasties, and then he pumped that bass. Pumped that bass, ended up even influencing guys like Luke Campbell even more, because Luke Campbell took that inspiration and created a genre, Miami bass.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to school right now. Like, I'm learning a whole lot.
Hey, listen, bro.
I thought I was
I'm me for a
pretty
reason.
knowledgeable, but no.
Listen, I'm me for a reason. I've been in the lecture circuit for 20 years, and I can keep 500 people in the seats just talking about music. Because, you know, I mean, do I know social politics and do I all that? Well, I'm not a politician. I'm not an economist. I could talk about those things. The deal is I'm in music. I love this hip hop thing. And as long as I talk about hip hop, I will have your attention. Now, I might seem boring next to one of the most exciting, irritating voices guys of all time, Flavor Flav, but that's Flavor Flav's job. Flavor Flav's job is to step in the room and suck the stardom out of any room he walks into. He is the best in the world at that. There's never been anybody better than that. He is often imitated, but never ever duplicated. And people that do imitate him end up making trillions because they're comedians, they're actors, they're rappers. They take a piece of Flavor and use it for whatever they do.